Today we are going to study Hebrew alphabet meaning, 11th letter. The name of alphabet is
Kaf.
Kaf. Kaf.
Kaf.
Kaf. So far we learned 11 letter among the 22 Hebrew alphabet. The first one was the Aleph. So Aleph, that is the ox, and they represent myself, the human nature, which means first Adam. And then second alphabet was Bet. Bet is house. So the goal of house is the first Adam to become the last Adam, that is to become the house of God. And then the Aleph and Bet, Abu. Abu is the father that provide the training to build the house of God. And in order to do that, the third letter was Gimel. Gimel is camel. Camel is the one to ripen, requite. So you need to desiring for the spiritual milk to be grown, and then to step it one by one up to the kingdom of heaven. When you get to the kingdom of heaven, that's the Gimel. And then Dalet, then you need to draw water, that is the word of God. And then the next one was He. He is a windpipe, that is behold. And then understand. Behold means understand, perceive, that is the windpipe. So we look to the stars, moon, and the sun through that window. And then next one is the Vav. So through the window, you need to looking for the mediator. The true mediator to us is the Christos Jesus. So we need to find the true mediator, that is a hook and connecting link. And then we also talking about the Apostle Paul. He's a mediator role. Also disciple between the Christos Jesus and the members. And then next one was Zayin. And then he used the weapon, Zayin, used to plow the ground. But he used Zayin to feed, to be fed, and then he started to do the harlotry, to commit adultery. That's why God fenced. So then next word is Het. Het is the letter of life. Then are we inside the fence or outside the fence? So the form of the Het is the Zayin and the Vav yoked together. Then leads to the gate to get to the most holy place that we were talking. And then next one is Tet. Tet was the invert, right? Compared with the Het, and then the Tet was inverted, Zayin and Vav, right? So we were talking about that is a symbol of snake. And then Nahashi. Nahashi is the serpent that is showing in the Genesis chapter 3. Nahashi, the serpent. And then there is the inverted Zayin and then Vav. Then we were talking about that Vav is false apostle, not the true Vav. And then next one, we learned the Yod. Yod is the smallest letter of Hebrew alphabet, and Yod is the invisible hand. And then they represent the power and ministry and divine power. We were talking about that. So in order to receive the divine power, in order to receive God's hand, God's ministry, we need to prepare the container, right? The container is Kaf that we are learning today. Okay? So the ancient form of this letter looks like this. This looks like a palm, right? And at the same time, you contain something inside the container. Okay, that kind of form, showing an ancient form. And then that is called the open palm of the hand. The meaning of this letter are band. Okay? Because the palm has to bend in order to store something. So, bend and curve from the shape of palm as well as to tame or subdue as one who has been bent to another's will. Okay? So, the calf is the meaning of palm and hollow hand that can contain something on the hand. So receiving, right, from the divine, the God's divine hand, right? So also it is shown as a huge rock. So we're gonna study a little later. And then as you see, there's two different. It's the same letter, but the pronunciation. This one is kap, and then put the H sound kaf. Why? We learned already the Begad Kepat letter, right? Begad Kepat. So this is one of the Begad Kepat letter that we already went through the bet, be, gimel, ga, dalet, du, and then now is kaf, right? So that's the kaf. When you see the dot inside, they call the dageshi mark, and then it pronounced stronger, right? Stronger. So kap, kap. The difference between this letter and this letter is the presence or absence of the dot in the middle of the letter. Same as like I just mentioned, the Begad Kepat letter, dagesh mark. And then this kaf also has Sophie form, right? Which called the final form. In the Greek grammar, Greek alphabet, we only have one letter, which is a sigma. Sigma only has the final form, we call the Sophie. But kaf, and then Hebrew has a 5 letter that has Sophie final form. The kaf is one of them, as you see here, and the next one is mem, and the next one is nun, and then he, tzade. So Hebrew letter has 5 letter that has Sophie final form. So kaf is the first one, the Hebrew alphabet, that has final form. So 5 Hebrew letters are formed differently when they appear as the last letter of a word. These forms are called Sophit, the Hebrew word, and 5 letters sounds the same. Okay, the form is different, Sophit and the regular form, but sound doesn't change. Sound is different, pronunciation is the same. However, you will need to able to recognize these letters because form, shape looks different when you see them. So kaf Sophit resembles a dalet. You see the kaf, the Sophie form is longer actually, longer than dalet. So resembles a dalet except that the stroke descends well below the baseline of the text. So as long as you identify between the dalet and kaf, and that's not hard things to identify. And then the kaf means, again, palm of a hand, and also one might be contained within the palm of the hand. Okay? The word spoon in Hebrew is the word cup. So spoon also you need to put some food or put whatever things, right? So contain something, which is a natural extension of a palm as a container. Kaf comes from a root word, okay, which is strong number 3721. How do you pronounce? So, this one is a kametz and patach, right? So both of them is a sound, right? So first letter, kaf and the a sound. So ka. Next one is pe, and then a sound. So pa, and then pu, right? So ka, pa, pu, kapapu. So kapapu meaning to bend, or bow down, suggesting the concave shape of the body. You gotta bend like this, right? Which is lower yourself, humble yourself. Bending our wills in submission to Christos Jesus, God. Or the shape of crown and strong number 3804. Both of them is a S sound, right? Shegor. Keter. Keter. Keter means on the crown, means crown on a king's head. So when we go to the Philippians chapter 4 verse 3, and then Apostle Paul is talking to the members, you are my joy and crown, right? Let's just quick go there. Philippians chapter 4 verse 1. Therefore, my beloved and longed for brethren, my joy and crown. So stand fast in the Lord, beloved. Okay. So you see here the my joy and crown. Okay, crown. How do you pronounce?
Stephanos.
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 Stephanos. Okay, Stephanos. There's two different Greek words that translate as crown. One is the diamond, and then this is the Stephanos. Different type of crown show in the Greek word. Like we learned the sword. There is two different swords, right? One is Machaira. The other one is from Phia, right? So we'll study those things as we learn the Greek text. But anyhow, here it says, my beloved longed for brethren. Brethren. You see the adelpoi, which is brother living, right? Adelpos means a is union, delpos is So we born through the word of God. That's what it means. Okay? And like Christos Jesus says, who's my brother? Who's my sister? Who's my mother? Whoever do the will of God is my brother, is my sister, is my mother. So adelpos, adelpos. Okay? So adelpos, who is what? Agapetos adelpos, beloved brother living. Okay? And then epipateros, connected, poteros, desire, long. Okay? We have a connection, relationship. And then kara. Kara is joy, joy. And Stephanos, my crown, my crown. So they are the crown. Then crown is the what? The fruit. Because when we go to the John chapter 15, Christos Jesus is true vine. Okay? Father is vine dresser, which is a farmer. And then the klema is branch. And then you have a fruit. So same as here, the crown. Crown is on the head, right? And then it called the joy and crown is, the Apostle Paul is talking, the adelpos, brethren. And then talking about the name of the crown, right here. And joy and crown. I implore Euodia and I implore Syntyche to be of the same mind in the Lord. So same mind in the Lord. Okay. And then verse 3, and I urge you also through companion. Through companion. Help these women who labor with me in the gospel, with Clement, name comes on also, and the rest of my fellow workers, whose names are in the book of life. Book of life. So whoever minister together in the Lord, which is a co-laborer, right? Co-worker. And they are not only brother, they are not only the crown of the Lord, and their name is in the book of life, which means they become the book of life. They become the book of life. So cup is the container, contain the yod, God's hand. So that's the keter on a king's head. The Christos Jesus is the one who possesses all the crowns of Israel and the church. So now let's go over the those words that talking about cup. So cup itself is a strong number 3709. 3709. Cup. Cup. That's the feminine noun. Feminine noun. Okay. So the dictionary definition shows the hollow hand or palm, so of the paw of an animal. Okay. So then it can be foot. Foot. Because you have a foot, on your foot you have an archer. That's like a curve, right? So that's like a container too. So that's why here it says of the sword, and even of a bowl, of a dish or sling, which is contain, right? Contain. The handle of a board, the leaves of a palm tree. Also the sole of the feet or other palm-shaped objects such as a spoon. And then figuratively, it says power. So you receive power, the invisible power from Yod, and receive power. And then you become existence, because you become one with Christos Jesus. So invisible Yod is inside you. Then you have power by learning, by submit yourself to the Lord, and then learn to the full stature of the Christos Jesus, and then become existence. So when we're talking about that, we are studying about 1 John chapter 5, 7, right? 3 witnesses in heaven, 3 witnesses in the heaven, in the earth, right? So there was Father, Word, Holy Spirit, and on the 3 witness, Trinity on the earth is water, blood, and spirit, right? Spirit, water, blood. So those things which can have a power, which become existence, which is visible God, that is Son of Man, because you have Son of God inside you. Okay? So let's go to those usage that says cup. Genesis 32:25. Start from 22. And he arose, he is Jacob, that night, and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed over the ford of Jabbok. He took them, sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. Then Jacob was left alone. So he let his son and his servant, and then everybody in front of me, right? But in the army, you cannot do that. If you are the leader, you have to set the example, let others to follow, right? And then you should standing in the front line against the enemy. But Jacob was the opposite way, right? He wants to defend himself. Hey, you go first, okay? You everybody go forward, okay? I will go last, okay? I will cross this river as the last person, okay? So he's scared. His brother is coming to kill him, so he knows it. So the Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. Now, when he saw that he did not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip. The socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint. He wrestled with him. So you see the New King James says socket, but you see the cup, which is the King James says the hollow, which is something making hollow place, right? And 26, and he said, let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said to him, what is your name? He said, Jacob. So what is the Jacob means? We learned yesterday, the last class. Heel catcher, right? Heel catcher. And he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with God, and with men, and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked, saying, Tell me your name, I pray. And he said, Why is it that you ask about my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So what is the meaning of Israel?
God.
Yes, have power as God, right? And then freedom, have freedom as God. Okay, that's the Israel means. So kaf, it translated socket here, and then hollow. Deuteronomy 11:24. And 23, then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will dispossess greater and mightier nation than yourselves. Every place on which the sole of your foot, see, instead of palm, here it says sole of your foot, sole. Okay, so look at the sole of your foot, which is kaf, soles. Source, kaf, and then foot, legar, foot. So every place on which sole of your foot treads shall be yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even to the western sea shall be your territory. You know, the English translated as Euphrates, right? Euphrates. But it is not Euphrates, it's Perat. Perat. Perat means to bear fruit. Bear fruit means Perat. Perat. Okay. So when we go to the Genesis chapter 2, it showed what? 4 rivers, right? Mm-hmm. The last river is Perat, not Euphrates. Perat. I don't know why English keep translating as Euphrates, but the translation is Perat, 6578. Perath, rushing. And Perath, i.e. Euphrates, the river of the east, from an unused root meaning to break forth. Okay? In order to get the fruit, you have to break forth. So Perat. So sole of your foot, the sole, it translates sole, kaf. Next one is Job 2:7. Okay. Talking about the start from 6. And the Lord said to Satan, Behold, he is in your hand. So who is he? Job, right? Okay. Vayomer again. He began to say, Yehovah, El Ha-Shetan. So onto, towards, El is pros. Okay, pros in Greek word. Towards, forward. To Shetan, Satan. Okay. Hen, we learned that hen, right? Behold. Yad, right? Yad is hand. We learn when we study Yod, right? Yad. Okay. So behold, he's in your hand, but spare his life. Is it life? No, it's not life. Nepeka, Shamar. Okay. Nepeka. Nepeshi, Nepeka. Okay. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and struck Job with painful boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. So that's a sole. Okay. So kaf. Same as the one we saw, the sole. So legar is foot. And then kaf. Legar. Hollow. It's the sole, right? Mm-hmm. And next one is Psalm 119:48. And start from 47. And I will delight myself in your commandment, which I love. My hand also I will lift it up to your commandment, which I love, and I will meditate on your statutes. You see the copy here? See, cup. So it is not yad, right? Yad. Yad was yod, hand. But here, they translate hand, but it is cup. Which means this cup translated hand, but the hand too, willing to what? Receive and hold, contain, right? That kind of hand. Not the yad. Yad is what? Yad, hand is what? The yod, when we learn yod hand is what? To throw, to shoot. Remember that? So that's the difference. Okay. So whenever you see original text, always apply that concept into the original text. That way, all Bible will be connected with each other. Because cup, hand, and then yad, hand. Okay, which hand? Hand is hand, right? What's the difference? So without knowing those relate words and then those concepts, then Bible still closed book with the 7 seals. So here, so I lift up to your hand, which I love, and I will meditate on your stature. Okay. So here my hand, that is cup. 128:2, Psalm. Start from 1. A song of ascents. Blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in his way. When you eat the labor of your hand, you shall be happy, and it shall be well with you. So here translate again, hand, that is cup, not the yad, right? So when you eat labor of your hand, so your hand hold the what? Hold the harvest one, right? Result. You have it. Okay? It become reality. Because invisible, yad is invisible. You do the work. You do the work with the godsend ministry, right? And then it become reality. You see the result on cup. Because you have something to hold on your hand. There will be eternal life. So you shall be happy, and it shall be well with it. Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine. So you accept the yod and become kaf. Then you will have a fruit. That is what? Your wife. Your wife shall be like a fruitful vine in the very heart of your house. Your children like olive plants all around your table. So they are the joy and crown based upon what we just see. And then their name is in the book of life. The Lord bless you out of Zion, and may you see the good of Jerusalem all the days of your life. So Jerusalem is peaceful teaching. Peaceful teaching. Teaching of peace. That's Jerusalem means. Okay, next one is Isaiah 1:6. Okay, we start from 1:4. Alas, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a brood of evildoers, children who are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked to anger the Holy One of Israel. They have turned away backward. Why should you be stricken again? You will revert more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faints. From the sole of the foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it. So you see cup here? So cup. So it says, from the sole of foot. Legel. Legel. So far, whenever we see kaf as the sole, it always comes with what? Legel, the foot. Because foot, you have this curved arch, right? That they can hold something. And then also they can be also when you bend down and submissive to the another's will, who is God's will, then what can be happen? You can subdue the land, right? You can subdue the land with your foot. So the sole of the foot even to the head, we know head is Rosh. We learned that when we learned Genesis chapter 1, Bereshit, which means in head of Elohim, ministry to hope Almighty. So Elohim is inside head, in head. So Rosh. So there is no soundness in it. Look at soundness. Bitom, soundness in it. But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed or bound up or suited with ointment. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Strangers devour your land in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by stranger. So we see here sore, right? So next one is Isaiah 49:16. And start from 15. Can a woman forget her nursing child and not have compassion on the son of her womb? Surely they may forget. Yet I will not forget you. See, I have inscribed you on the palm of my hand. Your words are continually before me. Okay? So, hen, again, behold. Okay? Are kapaim, im. Im is doer. Okay? Doer. So, upon hand. But it doesn't say my hand though, because there's no my. Okay? This is a yod mem, which is dual form. Okay? And then you, ys, right? So I have engraved you on hand. Okay? And your war, okay, before me and continually, right? Okay? So it is not my hand. Okay? So I engrave you on hand. It's not my hand, on hand. But this hand is what? Dual form. Dual is cognition. So which one are we going to hold? You have to have a discernment, cognition. Okay? And then 17, your son shall make haste. Your destroyer and those who laid you waste shall go away from you. Okay? So those are the addition. Okay? So my hand, there's no such my hand, just the hand. Hand with the dual form. And the next one is a Lamentation 3:41. And then start from 40. Let us search out and examine our ways and turn back to the Lord. Let us lift our hearts and hand to God in heaven. So, kaf, same thing, right? Two hands, right? Two hands. It's not our hand, it's just two hands, right? Your hands. And then L, towards, forward, pros. L, Be Shamaim. So in the heaven. So El, Almighty God in the heaven. So towards Almighty God in the heaven. Okay, and then Nasha, lift up. Okay, Lebabu is le, heart, right? Heart. So that's the hand is the dual form because we have two hand. We got two nostrils, right? Two nostrils. But there was the plural, right? So gotta be looking at the those parsing code, and in order to clearly understand. Last one is Malachi 4:3. Malachi 4:3. And start from 1. For behold, the day is coming, burning like an oven, and all the proud, yes, all who do wickedly will be stubble, and the day which is coming shall burn them up, say the Lord of hosts. That will leave them neither root nor branch. But to you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings, and you shall go out and grow fat like a store-fed calves. Verse 3, you shall tremble the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the sole of your feet on the days that I do this, say the Lord of hosts. Okay. So you see the sole of your feet. Same thing, we see the kaf legel, right? Sole of your foot of your ministry. Beyom, in the day that any, I, Asha is what? Do, right? Do. I doing. Amar, said. I have said. Yehovah Jebaot. Yehovah is hoping the existing one, right? The one hoping the existing one. Look at the Jebaot. Ot is sign. Then who is the sign? Christos Jesus is a sign. Semeion. The Greek word is semeion. So ot. Bet. In ot. And then jadi. Look at the jadi. To lie in wait. Which means ambush and waiting. Okay? And then concern and smell. Okay? You need to have smell. There's a two different smell in New Testament, right? The smell of life, eternal life, the smell of death. So we are the fragrance of Christ. So you lie and wait. Ambush in, waiting for what? You lie in wait in ot. Semeion. You need to wait until smell the semeion, smell the ot, smell the sign, smell the Christos Jesus, smell the fragrance of Christ. Then you can become existence. Yehovah Jebaot. And then we know Jabam itself. Jabam is the army, right? Army of Yehovah. But Jebaot, I just say those analyze the word, right? So we need those learning the alphabet meaning is also to have a ability to analyze the word, how the word is consisted. Okay, not just rely on the fully the definition of the dictionary. We have to search through or relate word that we are practicing, and then at the same time analyze those Hebrew word. So ot is sign, semeion. So the baby Christos Jesus is the semeion. He is the ot. In ot, you have to ambush and wait and smell. You need to smell that one. So once you smell it, what are you going to do? You're going to eat, right? So you start to eating on 6th day. And then the next relate word carp is the masculine noun. 3710, strong number, right? The before one is a 3709. And then same consonant, but how do you pronounce?
Carp. No, Keith.
This is the A sound, right? A.
Cat.
Yes, that's the jere right here.
Jerry.
So long A sound, so cap.
Cat.
Cap. Which means hollow rock, hollow rock. Okay. So let's go to the Job 36. Okay. And then we can start from 5. They were driven out from among men. They shouted at them as at a thief. They had to live in the clefts of the valleys, in the caves of the earth and the rocks. You see rocks? Rocks? Cup. Cup. So this is not just the rock itself, but rock has what? The hole. Hole. Okay? So how can we leave rock inside the rock? It's like a cave, right? You got to have a hole to contain, to accept something, to hold something. Okay? So they leave the cave of the earth and then the rock. Rock. That's a cup. Next one is Jeremiah 4:29. Jeremiah 4:29. The whole city shall flee from the noise of the horsemen and bowmen. They shall go into thickets and climb up on the rocks. Every city shall be forsaken, and not a man shall dwell in it. So here, rock. Should be rock. Rock. Kept. Kept. Rock. So this 3710 is a kept rock, which is a hollow rock, right? And then from this word, the verb is kapan. 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 Okay? And then we just saw the cup. Cup. Palm, right? So this masculine noun is kept rock. From here, Greek number kepas. Kepas. Kepas means rock. So Christos Jesus talked to the Peter, kepas, right? Kepas. When you go to the John 1:42, it says kepas. John 1:42, New Testament. Okay. And he brought him to Jesus. Now when Jesus looked at him, he said, "You are Simon, the son of Jonah. You shall be called Kepas," which is translated a stone, right? Stone. So look at the Kepas. This Kepas. Okay. Kepas is the Greek pronunciation from cup in Hebrew word. Hebrew word. Okay. So Kepas ho. Okay. Erumenio Petros. Petros. So the Hebrew kepas, which is a Greek pronunciation for cup, that means what? Petros. Petros means
Peter.
Stone, which is a Peter. Peter. Which means rock. So kepas, Petros. Kepas, Petros. So kepas, that is the sound of cup in the Hebrew, and then that means Petros. So Petros. So those Hebrew and Greek cross over with each other, right? And it all connect with each other. That's our Star Wars Bible Academy study. And next word regards to the cup, we have a strong number 3712. How do you pronounce? So you see this vowel mark, okay? Here, hirek. Hirek. Hirek is long E sound, right? So how do you say? Kap and E. So this is ki, right? Kipa. It's like when you play soccer, you have a keeper. So similar sound, but it's a kipa. Kipa. Okay. Kipa is the feminine noun, a leaf of a palm tree, palm branch. And that is show the, let's go to the verse, Job 15:32. Uh, 31. Let him not trust in fertile things, deceiving himself, for fertility will be his reward, and it will be accomplished before his time, and his branch will not be green. So branch, right? Branch. Kipa. Kipa. So then branch is what? Hopping cup. Right? Hopping cup. Kipa. He will shake off his unripe grape like a vine, and cast off his blossom like an olive tree. For the company of hypocrites will be barren, and fire will consume the tents of bribery. So the leaf of palm exists, like we just say, the clema. When we go to John 15, who take away the clema? Who did it? Christos, Jesus, or Father? Father. Let's go that place. John 15. 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, who takes away? Father takes away. Father takes away. Father is the one who, because farmer, obviously, right? Farmer needs to takes away, right? That does not bear fruit, he takes away. So Father, when we study the Abu. So Father, Abu is the one who trained to build the house of God. So Father is the trainer, right? So if you do not receive train, if you are not qualified to receive train, we'll give you a second test, right? Then standard is 60%. That's the Army regular standard. But some Army school require more than that. Some school require 70%. I heard the pharmacy course is the most top AIT course in the Army. That's what I heard. And the next one is career counselor course. Because if you miss one, hey, you out. That's pretty much it. So like a service computation and bonus computation, all kind of stuff. Nowadays, it's in the system. You can use the formula, the Excel spread, that Excel spreadsheet. But again, on the test, you cannot use that. You need to calculate all service computation. So inactive time, active time, DD form 214, NGV form, and all set, etc. So same here. The Father takes away. So we'll give you we'll give you a forced no-go, but you have a second chance. Once you fail again, you go home, go back to your unit. So Father takes away. And every branch that bear fruit, he prunes. Father prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Verse 3. You are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Okay. And then 4, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Clema, right? Branches. Clema. Clema, living, branch. Branch living. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. You see here, bear. on the Greek word bear. Bear is bear fruit, right? Bear fruit. And then the New King James says bear fruit. King James says brings fruit. But pero is endure, manage. Bring means you got to endure, manage. Okay? 5342. Then definition bring. 5342. Okay? Bring, carry, right? Bring, carry. But the means is bear means to endure. You need to sustain, to manage. Okay? So to carry some burden. You need to manage yourself. So which means once you finish school at the leadership course, you need to manage that skill to lead the soldier, right? So that's the peril. Okay? So peril fruit. So not only bear fruit, not only bears much fruit, that means you still need to manage. Okay? Manage. But without me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is cast out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. Okay. And then next one about kippah is show Isaiah 9:14. Start from 13. For the people who do not turn to him who strikes them, nor do they seek the Lord of hosts. Therefore the Lord will cut off head and tail from Israel, palm branch, bulrush in one day. The elder and honorable, he is the head. The prophet who teaches lie, he is the tail. So head and tail, he will cut off. And then palm branch and bulrush. So palm branch, right? Palm branch. Kippah, branch, kippah, branch. So branch is klema in Greek word. Okay. And the next one is Isaiah 19:15. And 15, neither will there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail. So head is elder, tail is prophet. We just saw that, right? And palm branch for bulrush may do, same thing. And in that day, Egypt will be like woman and will be afraid and fear because of the waving of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he waves over it. So palm branch. Here, kippah, right? Kippah. So there's nothing to do in the work for Egypt, right? You need to work in the Jerusalem, not the Egypt. And then the next word we can see regards to the calf, 37:11. How do you pronounce? Both of them is a sound. We see that, right? So easy, right? Kappa. Very good. Kappa. To bend, to tame, or subdue. Okay, like I just added this one. So desire, cup. So when you desire cup, when you desire rock, Petros, Peter. Okay. Then you need to lower, bend, humble, right? Yourself. Proverbs 21:14. start from 12. The righteousness God wisely considered the house of the wicked, overthrowing the wicked for their wickedness. Whoever shuts his ear to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. So you see the, and then 14, a gift in secret pacifies anger, and a bride behind the back strong wrath. So you see here, pacifies, kappa. So a gift in secret, to bend, right? To tame, subdue anger, tame anger, to bend anger. It translates pacifies. And the next word we can see is 3721. Same right? So kapak, right? Kapak. So same, to bend down, and bow down. So let's look at the last one here, Micah 6:6. With what shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? So here, bow myself, right? Kapan, a cup, paka. 7. Will the Lord be pleased with the thousands of rams? Okay, 1,000, elef should be, right? Elef, right? So the nature, ox. 10,000 rivers of oil. Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has shown you, man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Okay, so humbly here is a janas. Okay, jana. So different. It's different from the bend and tame and bow down, the kapak. And then grammatical note on the kap. Whenever the kap uses a prefix, and it's a preposition. So like a bet, preposition is in, right? And then kap preposition is what? Ka, like, as. That's why when I talking about Mikael, me, who, ka, like, as, El, Almighty God. Who's like Almighty God? Who is true God? That's what it means, Mikael. So ka, when ka uses preposition, then is like. So the example here is Kelohim. Kelohim is preposition, noun, masculine, plural. So Kelohim, like Elohim. That shows serpent talk to the Eve, woman, Genesis 3:5. Let's go to Genesis 3:5. Genesis 3:5. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, that it is the fruit of tree of knowledge, good and evil, right? Your eyes will be open, and you will be like God. You will be like God. You see here? Kelohim. So preposition. You will be like the ministry of to hope Almighty. Okay? So you will be like God. And then we learn the he. Whenever he is a prefix, that makes on the noun, that makes what? Determiner. So ha Elohim, the Elohim. So this is Kelohim is like Elohim. Ha Elohim is the Elohim. Okay. It showed the Genesis 5:22. We can go there. 5:22. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. Here says walk with God. You see the Ha Elohim. Et Ha Elohim. Et Ha Elohim. Okay? They just translate with. You see how funny it is, right? Many places they don't translate at, and then here translate with. Right? So which is Aleph Ha Elohim, Tav Ha Elohim. Okay? Which is talking about period, processing term, right? Time. And then the last one is the when kaf is suffix, that show second person in the grammar, second person, ka. So ka is second person. Whenever it ends as ka, suffix is a second person. Okay. In the next class, we are going to study after kaf, and the next one is
Lamed.
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 Lamed. Lamed is ox prodding stick. Lamed means the shepherd staff to teach. So Lamed is teach. So the ox prodding. So educate, teach. And then discipline, disciple. So we are going to study next class.